Hey guys, this may not be the best angle, but I just wanted to record something and see if you guys like this. If you want me to host a live Q&A in the future, I'll try and figure that out. Send me questions. What would you guys like to know? Today I'm going to talk about what martial art should I do? Well, what martial art you should do based on your age and your goals. And of course, this is just kind of my generic thoughts and guidelines. Um, in general, though, most people want to exercise and do things like that, but they also want some level of practicality from the martial arts that they could actually defend themselves with and protect themselves. So I come at it more from that perspective than like a personal trainer's perspective. Anyway, when you're young, and I didn't start till 9, I think that's a good age to start. Really, most kids shouldn't start before 6.5, 7. You think they're ready at 5. They're not. I usually won't teach kids until they're 6, and usually a lot more till like 6.5. Really, 7 to 15 years old, like what I think you should be doing. I think kids should be in the structure. I like the Japanese culture and structure of martial arts, and I think that's good to set that for many reasons early with a child, for their future martial art development, for their future human development, for their future Budo, for their future scholastic development, etc. I'm all about Judo and karate when you're young. Now I started in Taekwondo, but if I could do things over again, I mean, I watched The Karate Kid, defended myself that day doing wax on, wax off when a kid kicked at my groin twice. And, karate happened to be the local Taekwondo school, and that's okay. But I like Judo and I like karate if you could find good karate. This is coming from kind of the American perspective right now. Unfortunately, good karate, real karate, is very, very hard to find. And when I say real karate, I mean harder Shotokan. I mean real Kyokushin or Kyokushin offshoot, such as Daido Juko, that I've done, or Enshin, Sabaki method, Enshin, things of that nature. That's very hard to find in America unless you're like in New York or LA. But that would be ideal. Not necessarily the hop up and down bop on top of the head makes a point. You don't want that. Okay, that's not real to get points. Unfortunately, that's the style that's going to be in the Olympics in 2020 as a demo sport. But real karate, if possible. If not, at a young age, Taekwondo is okay because it teaches you all the kicking, flexibility, and a lot of body awareness and stuff when you're younger and more mobile. Now, do most 45-year-old fat guys with bellies get a lot out of Taekwondo? I can say that because, like, I'm 42 and I got a belly and always have, even though I only eat once a day now. Maybe I'll do an OMAD video if you guys are interested in that. 1 meal a day. Taekwondo could substitute. Alternatively, obviously, even better alternatively, if you're in Russia, if you're in one of the stands of the world, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, etc., combat sambo and whatever they call their hand-to-hand fighting military, hand-to-hand, and there's a name for the competitions, I forget what it is. But there's some great videos online that are kind of hard to find, but you can find them. Obviously, like, that's pretty hardcore stuff, and if you mix those two, one more being with, like, more like kickboxing, the hand-to-hand, and the combat sambo being able to punch and go right into the throat, into the grappling, I mean, that's pretty darn ideal. Combat sambo is pretty much MMA. And nothing wrong with sports sambo either. That's a good things. Again, yeah, that could be all through your age. Younger, I think, if you have a kid that's really like hyper or aggressive in nature, or they need to get that energy out of them, I think things like wrestling and boxing are good. Now, boxing, you have to watch the head drama. They definitely shouldn't be sparring more than like twice a month. Unless you have someone that literally you think is going to go to the Olympics. But wrestling, I wish I would have done wrestling. I learned all my wrestling as an adult from Dan Severn and then training in Iowa, MFS, going with Hawkeye wrestlers and Hughes and all those people. But I wrestled half a season 8th grade before I tore my hamstring. But wrestling and boxing, for the right person, can be great. And wrestling's good because a lot of very, very successful people in life were wrestlers. So, and girls can wrestle too. I taught a high school program at my old high school. I had a female wrestler in my class. I taught a martial art program under the guises of Taekwondo, but I was really teaching them light MMA. I was teaching them some Muay Thai basics and boxing basics and wrestling basics and Jiu-jitsu and Judo basics all together. And I got a letter from the school saying thank you for helping some at-risk youth. I mean, it wasn't really the most at-risk area, but anyway. And one of those was a female wrestler who got picked on all the time because she was a female wrestler, and people called her gay and stuff, and she said she wasn't, and all that kind of thing. But anyway, guys, when you're older, BJJ and Muay Thai. Judo could be fun, but it's awfully hard on the back. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or no-gi grappling. I prefer no-gi myself, and I'm a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu as well as karate and Taekwondo and highest on grappling system. But BJJ and Muay Thai. And anyone, you could go learn Muay Thai. If you want to go do cardio kickboxing, do that for a month, get in shape, and then try out the real Muay Thai classes. It doesn't mean you have to spar hard, but any class that is teaching kickboxing just on bags, and even just on pads, which I like teaching pad classes occasionally, but you got to learn how to actually cover and block and defend and check. And if you're not doing that, you're not doing kickboxing. I hate that they sell like kickboxing. You're learning self-defense to women. That's not great. The only real self-defense is awareness and gun fu. Okay, so if you can live in what's left of the very few free-ish countries and free-ish states and protect your constitution, or you see what's going on, in Hong Kong, or you see what happened in Venezuela and many other places. But I digress. Guys, BJJ, Muay Thai, MMA, obviously, and, it doesn't have to be the hardest core pro MMA gym, but unfortunately, a lot of karate, Taekwondo schools say they teach MMA and they, suck. So you should try to find someone more knowledgeable at MMA to go and look at a class for you if that's what you're interested in. And you don't have to be, hardcore want to be a fighter, but try to find people that actually, somewhat know what they're doing. Like, they could actually coach an amateur fighter. Maybe they couldn't coach a pro fighter, but they have enough technical ability in all areas and facets of MMA that they could coach an amateur fighter. Okay, so be somewhat selective with that. JKD, yes. Now, I did a lot of JKD in the late 90s. That was JKD Concepts under Guru Dan Asano. Whether it's Concepts or original, was it really JKD as Concepts? I don't know. Learning a bunch of different classes, whether they're different sports like Muay Thai, BJJ, versus arts, Kali, Silat, Wing Chun. There was not a lot of classes at any of the schools I went to that were really no, we're combining this together to be the ultimate street fighter, which was really what, Bruce Lee was about. He wasn't really about making MMA. He was about cross-training and making the best mixing for real fighting self-defense, eye jabs, groin kicks, etc. But if you could find a good JKD school nowadays, seems less popular than 20 years ago with the rise of just MMA, and everyone says MMA now. Kali, yes, but not as the primary. Kali is something I think everyone should dabble in. Kali empty hand fighting is not real for the most part. I mean, I've picked up a couple things. You can see in a couple of my videos I do something. Mark Denny showed me. He said he liked using me as a guinea pig, and you can see I do a entry to a punch to an underhook, and then throw guys off cages in a few of my videos, guys. And the long range is good, and the close range is good. The problem with a lot of Kali is the mid-range BS, which is disarming BS that you'll never be in that range to begin with. Kind of like Wing Chun. It's effective for only a quarter millisecond because that range is the range that gets passed through in any type of combat sport. Silat, generally I say no. Now, I have seen some good people, and there's one guy on YouTube I like. But in general, and what I've seen at Silat World Championships and the competitions, boy, for people that should have all the balance from doing those crazy twisty low stances and all that, their balance is shit. And if your balance is crap, you have no delivery system for empty hand. If you think you're really awesome with your little Karen bit, whatever, I'll take my Tonto point and I'll shiv you 80 times. Thank you. Wing Chun, yeah, it's mostly crap. I have a video, Wing Chun mostly sucks except, so you might want to check that out. If so, that's something that interests you. I mean, I like watching it in some movies, in the Ip Man movies. Donnie Yen's okay because he's purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu and does Wing Chun, right? But in reality, So I talk about my background and going on the Mo Steppy seminar back in the day and everything. You might want to check out that video. Krav Maga, Crap Mega. It's usually mega crap. Almost always. If it's in America, just assume it is. Occasionally there's a decent knife or gun disarm defense, but there's also 40% of them that will get you killed. And on all the videos, I've watched the DVD sets of big Krav Maga associations and whatnot. It's only good when you get to the fourth and fifth disc of the DVDs when they have Russian guys teaching the Krav Maga. Why are Russian guys teaching the Krav Maga? Now, Krav Maga in Israel, if you're, in a special unit, that may be different because Krav Maga is just an amalgamation of everything else. Is that a word? I don't know. But yeah, in general, I do some LARPing. I have some LARPing videos. Role playing is good because even fighters, someone just shoves them and yells, "I'll fucking kill you, sucker." People freeze up. They don't know, do I take a fighting stance? Do I not? And then boom, they're cracked on the head. Some role playing is okay, but yeah, generally people say that's just LARPing. Now, when you're older or injured, guys, I like Systema. Everyone hates on Systema. I've given some views and interviews and whatnot because I haven't gone with anyone really high level like I was fortunate to do over 20, 21 years ago. I have a couple my sparring using Systema versus MMA Fighter videos now that are getting pretty popular. You might want to check out. And Aikido, not because it's going to add a lot, even though I'm a guy really good at Kotegaeshi, and I'm a guy really good at Nikyo variation or Ayadori, possibly called Ayadori in some Japanese Jiu-Jitsu Ryu. But I actually learned the Ayadori from my Korean master, Kim, when I was very young, and she started using these, actually both of them, I guess. So really, even though I say I dabbled in Aikido 3 times-ish, and then another visit lately, but really I got it from the little bit of Hapkido knowledge from my Taekwondo instructor. Bakwa I've never done, but it's definitely interesting some of the stuff I see those guys do, and some of my light grappling or Aikido grappling or the real Steven Seagal Aikido. Some of my stuff I go, oh, it's kind of like I see a few of these old guys that seem to have some real sensitivity and ability and kind of a wave-ish energy or eternal way to pushing guys back. Bakwa, maybe Singai. It kind of covers some of the main martial arts. So, what martial arts should you do? Depends on your age. Depends on your goals. If you hit up any of the styles I gave a yes to, and I think I only gave a no to 2, and don't depend on it only for real fighting and Wing Chun and Aikido, but you can dabble in it to Wing Chun and Aikido. The rest, I say you're good to go. If you watch a class, look around, talk around, and basically trying to find a good instructor. And if you have a couple options in your area, guys, go watch classes and see who is what would seem like the best instructor for you. I'm a little hard on people. I'm not the best instructor for everybody. But I am also not all about money like everybody is. I don't need 1,000 students and rah rah siskumba. We're all awesome. Yay, happy feelings. That's the way society's going. That's not martial arts. Martial means death, life and death. It should be something you should be able to defend yourself with, as I have done many times in real life. Multiple opponent, weapon scenarios, bouncing, getting confronted by people, etc. So, guys, anyway, that's my thoughts. I hope you like it. I'm going to cut this right at 15 minutes. And let me know if you like this kind of video. The angle might be weird, but maybe I'll get a stand, and I will catch you on the flip side. Cheers.